What's that snack you're bringing to the Super Bowl party in a couple of weeks? It's Rob and Lizz in the morning, his radio. So here's two that are coming out that it seem to be a really big trend for this year's Super Bowl parties that are coming out.
Yeah, one's a double slider. Double slider.
Double cheeseburger slider.
Well, yeah. But
there's a difference.
Well, yeah,
one
there's
has
cheese.
cheese, one doesn't have cheese. So there's a difference.
But if you don't want the cheese, you don't have to have the cheese.
Lasagna nachos is also a big one now.
Listen, I've heard of trash can nachos, which, yeah, you put them in like a little waste basket and you line it or just don't ever use it. And then you put the nachos down in it and dump all the stuff and it's...
In a trash can?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, sounds kind of amazing. But lasagna nachos?
Nachos.
Never heard of that before.
Sounds pretty good because I like carbs.
Well,
I'm a walking carb.
Right.
You look at me. I'm a carb.
No, stop it.
I'm a carb. But Scott Watson, what is it you do? Is it like some kind of dip, right?
It's delicious. It's so easy. 3 ingredients. You brown some sausage. You add some cream cheese and a can of Rotel. Mix it all together.
What's Rotel?
Like the
little tomato chili. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
In the
like
can.
a salsa almost.
All right.
Very close to a salsa. So I think you should put that inside of a crescent roll.
Crescent roll?
And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what my wife does. She'll do the nachos, or not the nachos, but the chips
Yeah.
that go with it, the tortilla chips. But and she got this from a friend in Florida. Her name is Susie, and she's been doing it ever since we moved from Florida. It's salsa with cream cheese.
Just mixed up together.
Yeah.
Is it warmed up like in a
The
crock
cream
pot?
cheese is warmed up.
Okay, I was about to say
Yeah.
a block of it probably.
You don't need a crock pot to warm up the cream cheese. You just need a mic.
Really?
So, yeah, just nuke it in the microphone. Or not in the microphone.
In the microphone?
And then the microwave.
Whoa.
And boom, you got it.
You're such a chef.
Yeah, right?
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
Rob and Lizz in the morning, 800-447-7234.
Yeah, Casey is talking about her cocktail wieners that she puts in the crock pot. She texted in. She said she got the recipe from her mama. So it's barbecue sauce and Welch's grape jelly.
Oh, that's different.
It is. I've made something similar. My dad passed down to me, and he always said you have to use Welch's grape jelly. I don't know if it's the sweetness content or what the deal is.
The texture,
Yeah,
whatever
I
it
don't
is,
know.
huh? Interesting.
They're good.
Okay, Ninja, our producer, what is it you do?
Okay, I don't know if you're ready for this.
Let's try me.
Cool Ranch Doritos dipped in queso.
That's nice. I can get into that because I like the Doritos. I like the queso. I'm a walking queso Dorito.
It sounds delicious.
Doesn't it, though?
Yeah.
Where'd you get the combo from? Who gave you that idea?
My friend put me onto that. She brought it over for game night once, and I was like,
Really?
Let's try this, see what happens.
Game night. All right. Okay, Julie's here at 800-447-7234. What is it?
Something my dad did when I was growing up.
Oh, really? Okay, what was
hot
it?
dogs and peanut butter.
Really?
Ugh.
Yeah, especially when you do crunchy peanut butter.
Crunchy peanut butter.
And hot dogs?
I know.
What in the world?
I'm going to try it.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
Super Bowl coming up. You're well aware of that. Now, if you're into it, you got everybody coming over for a Super Bowl party, you're headed somewhere, whatever the case, a snack has to be there.
Has to be. Absolutely. And Roy texted, he said his Super Bowl party is he, his wife, and his daughters. So he makes stemmed maraschino cherry. You dip it in chocolate. Then you attach a Hershey's Kiss, sliced almonds, and gel icing for the eyes and nose. And it makes a mouse. And it's the cutest thing because he said not every Super Bowl snack has to be savory.
He sent a picture?
Yes.
Oh, nice.
You got to have sweet. Okay, then we have Ray. Ray texted and said, here's what you get for your Super Bowl. A can of beanless chili. Thank you for that. 1 stick of Philly cream cheese and 1 cup of shredded cheese of your choice. You heat it and you can mix if desired and you eat it with chips.
Wow.
Okay, I'm getting hungries.
Right?
I know. It sounds so good.
Okay, Dale's here at 800-447-7234. What's yours, Dale? How did it become a thing?
Did it this summer when I was having fish tacos and decided to put watermelon on my fish taco, and it was good.
Really?
What in the world made you
Yeah.
think to put those two things together? Because I'm just going to say it. That's not normal.
No, it's not. And I like fish tacos, and we just had watermelon I just decided to mix it.
How many times have you had it that way since?
That's actually been the only time because we haven't had fish tacos pretty often since then.
How many times have you gotten anybody else to try it?
My daughter tried it. My son-in-law tried it too. So I mean, everybody didn't say it wasn't bad, but
But they didn't say it was good. But all kidding aside, I'm starting to want it.
I like fish tacos. And I like watermelon. The
Yeah.
two together seems a little...
No.
Different.
You know what? Just expand your palate.
Okay, I will.
Just give it a try.
Lunch on you.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Her name is Marie Kondo, but she organized everything else for a couple of years.
I feel like I know this name, but I don't know this name.
So I only saw the show maybe once or twice.
It's like one of those renovation shows?
Yeah, she had a book, and it was like the art of tidying up, this kind of thing. And then she had her television show, and so she would go into someone's house that was in disarray, and she would help them throw away things and organize things. So one thing that she did is before they threw away an article of clothing, let's say a scarf, you had to sit down and thank it for its service.
Oh, really? Wait a
your
minute.
life.
Ninja's talked about this person
Yes.
before. You've done this, Ninja?
I've watched it. I've attempted. She does have good tips on how to fold things.
She does. She does. Good information. But, the whole process of saying thank you for your service to a scarf is a little
Really?
different. So at the time she was really at the height of her popularity, she didn't have any kids. And then she started having children. She has 3 children now. And so she's kind of pivoted a little bit. And she's like, I know it's important now. And so not so much tidying up as she did before.
Oh, so it's not as
organized.
organized
Yes.
now that she's a mama.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I like the fact that she has embraced where she is in life.
Good for her.
And I bet she has a better perspective for the people that she helped. And I'm sure she helped them tremendously.
Oh, yeah.
Just finding a new way to organize and, and get rid of things, let go of things. But now that she's a mama of 3, she knows that no matter what, the house is never going to be spotless. It's just not.
Well, yeah, we have a couple of rooms in our house that are not.
No. And
It's
sometimes...
a child.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But sometimes you'll have a playroom so that they can kind of get all that clutter. Just embrace the clutter, because the clutter's not going to go.
You can still be neat.
Exactly. You can be clean and still be a little cluttered. I mean, there's going to be an area in the living room that has, toys.
Dog toys.
Right. Dog
In
toys,
my house.
kid toys, whatever the case is. There's going to be Cheerios in the couch. It's just going to happen.
Those surprising ways that life has changed when the kids have come, just like this condo lady knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Her
Let us
condo's a
know.
mess now.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
Okay, what was that lady's condo?
Marie Kondo.
Marie. Oh, that's her name.
Yeah.
I keep thinking she had a condo.
No, it's Kay.
Oh, see, I know she's a TV personality. I've never watched her, but she's an organized lady, right?
Oh, super organized.
But things changed a little when she had kids.
She had 3 kids, and she thought, yeah, I can't do this anymore.
To the degree
Yeah.
that she's done. I'm sure she's got great tips. Okay, so 800-447-7234. Cheryl is here. She goes, boy, life changed, but when the kids started going to school, what's up here, Cheryl? About the whole school thing?
My time was to go back to bed after I got them to school, so no way was I getting out of my PJs. Robe on, and I'd take them to school, and I went back home and crawled right back in bed.
What would your kids say as they got older with mom in PJs, dropping them off the car rider line?
They could care less. Matter of fact, they were like, oh, Mom, I don't want to go to school. I missed the bus. I went, hey, you're going to school. This is my time.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
His radio.
How about bringing your infant to work? What a great idea.
I think it's an awesome
Oh, you do?
idea. Yeah.
That'd be a lot of crying.
When my daughter was little, I took her to work up until about 6 or 9 months old.
Now, they're going to try this in Nevada.
Yeah, it's the state treasurer's office, and it's just kind of like a pilot program. So you can take the babies to work up to 6 months old.
And he says it will be a good transition.
Yeah,
getting back into the workplace.
Right. Because, listen, it's so difficult as a parent when you've been home for, if you're on paternity leave, you probably get a couple of weeks. And if you're on maternity leave, then you get 6, 8, 12, whatever it is. And it's so difficult to go back to the office. I know that it seems to happen the first couple of weeks back. You try to sneak out a little early. You try to go see the babies on your lunch break, whatever the case is. So I like this.
You do?
I love this idea.
Really?
I do.
Enough that you're going to have another baby?
You funny.
And she laughs.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His Radio.
Erin, she's been a high school teacher for 5 years, and she said, I've seen so much that the students go through between self-confidence, self-image, doubting. She said several have had thoughts of saying goodbye to life, and there were a few in the past 5 years that attempted to say goodbye to life. And she's like, they're really dealing with so much. What can I do? And then all of a sudden this idea came to her on making a Post-it note type of chart that will allow her students to let her know what kind of day they're having. So on these Post-it notes that they can put on this chart, there are different categories like I'm great, I'm okay, I'm meh. I like that one.
I do too.
I'm struggling, I'm having a hard time and wouldn't mind a check-in, and I'm in a really dark place.
Oh, cold
Those
chills.
Are the categories. And so there are students that will check in and they'll put their name on the back of the Post-it note and then put the Post-it note in the right category, whether it's great or I'm in a really dark place or the other categories that I just mentioned. It's working so well because now students are connecting with guidance counselors and psychologists when they're in the proper category. And she checks in on the kids just to make sure that their mental health is okay. This has become so popular that there are teachers around the world contacting Erin, this high school teacher, saying, okay, tell me what you're doing because I want to incorporate this in my classroom.
It's a great model, and I love that she has the relationship with her students that they feel comfortable enough that they would put that Post-it note. Because I think, especially, my growing up, possibly you growing up, we were guarding our emotions. And I'm so glad that we can now have this kind of dialogue and they feel comfortable enough to say, I'm in a dark place. And the Post-it notes, they don't put them up with their names on them.
It's on the back of it.
It is on the back of it. So it's totally anonymous. But yet, when the Post-it note is in those categories, she knows she needs to look right away.
And she does.
And get them help.
And that's a lot of trust.
It is
and
a
the
lot
kids
of
trust each other because it's like, hey, this is a trust thing. Don't look on the back of the Post-it note to see who put what in what category.
Exactly.
And they honor it. And then there's more trust between the students. It's brilliant.
And so it's creating, in a high school situation, that community of taking care of each other.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His Radio.
Husbands need to watch out because filters can get them in trouble. It's Rob and Liz in the morning, His Radio.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare do this. Okay, so woman is in labor. I mean, full labor, like that whole thing, the breathing, the crying, the screaming. And her husband is filming her, and she thinks, oh, he's saving this so we can look back on it and have these memories. She finds out he uses a filter, and it's the ugly dog filter. So it's like the Chihuahua with the tongue sort of, in parts of it. And so she's
Best TikTok ever.
She's laying there in bed, all hooked up, baby belly, the whole thing, and yet she has the ugly dog face. He is in so much trouble. Actually, she had a really good sense of humor about it. He did not get in trouble.
Okay. So she's okay with it.
She's okay with it. She,
there you go.
Flashed him up the peace sign and sort of shook her head with her arms
So
folded.
she knew as it was happening?
No, she found out, I guess, later. But as she's laying there, she's like, okay, kind of, I would throw up the peace sign to say, okay, we're done. Like, let's peace out. We're good.
Enough of the filming.
Yes, exactly. And
No
then
more
she,
posts.
Right. And she found out later. And she closes her eyes and part of it. So the doggy face closes its eyes and looks very disgusted at one point.
I'd be in so much trouble. I'm
think.
telling you.
How
Amy would grab my lower lip and pull it over my head.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On His Radio.
Research is saying that if you get married young, and really at any age, I think, you don't live together, and your marriage is going to last a little longer. It's
This
gonna be
is a
little more.
mainstream university.
Yes.
That did this study, and they said don't shack up before you get married.
No, absolutely not. And they say it makes your marriage stronger. You will tend to get married and stay married, which is always the point.
Yeah, they're saying the percentage of that is so much higher.
It's skyrocketed.
Not living together before you get married. Again, a mainstream university is doing this. You know, no thought of faith in this thing whatsoever. It's like, but this is so biblical.
Yeah. In the research, they even commented on the religious aspect of it, the faith aspect of it. And they're like, put that aside and this still works. This model that, is in our Bibles, it works. It absolutely works. This is the research and the proof to back it up.
Right?
Absolutely.
So my son, my 21-year-old, has a fiance. They're getting married. They don't live together.
Yeah.
They don't live together whatsoever, and that's not going to happen until they get married in May.
And they're also making plans already. They adopted a dog.
They did, which it's at my house.
Well, that's because they can't take care of it together.
Not the apartment that he's in with these 5 other guys.
Right.
And then she has a roommate down where she is in her house.
Right. And so, Papa Rob is going to be taking care of the puppy until they get married. So what, about 6 months?
It's May 13th
Okay,
when the wedding takes place.
Woo, we're closing in on it now.
I'm telling you.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
There is a shelter, an animal shelter in Tennessee that had a dog that was brought to the shelter that had a little note that was attached to its leash. And I'm going to try to read the note without crying. It said, "My name is Lilo. Please love me. My mom can't keep me. She's homeless. She has 2 kids. She has tried her best, but she can't get help. I cost too much for her. She loves me. I'm a great dog to be loved on." The last line says, "Please don't abuse me." Oh, my goodness.
I know, right?
And I'm not sure of the breed. Looks like a mix of some sort. Just looks like sweetest pup. So, the shelter, posted this on Facebook, and of course they were moving in the process of getting Lilo back out. Thankfully, Mom was reunited with this puppy.
Isn't that beautiful?
She got back up on her feet and was able and realized I can take care of Lilo. I'm going to get some help. The shelter is also going to be helping, and some people have reached out to the shelter to say, hey, if she needs help with food, or we can cover the cost of vaccinations and this kind of thing. And so the community's kind of rallying.
I love how they're doing that.
I
First,
do
the
too.
animal shelter is like, okay, no, you've got to be with your family.
Right.
And then second is like the community is like, let's get you a place to live.
Yeah.
Let's help this family out because they couldn't take care of it financially.
No, and unfortunately, we have to make decisions, when you lose your job, or, the way finances are right now, the economy, you have to make choices, unfortunately. And there's, I hate to say a hierarchy, but that is absolutely, you have to take care of your babies and yourself. And
The
unfortunately,
priorities are right there, but she wanted to make sure that, okay, if I bring this to the animal shelter, by golly, they'll take care of them.
Yeah, exactly. And she left the note to let them know that this dog has been loved on. Please continue that.
Yeah, and they are.
You're listening to Rob and Lizz in the morning.
On his radio.
Yeah, this dude was just having movers move furniture in, and they got the sofa stuck in the stairway. Literally, it was lodged in the stairway. And they moved things around and back and forth, and they just kept trying as hard as they could, but it got lodged there, so they left. They left. Leaving the homeowner to get it up the stairs himself. He wound up doing it, but there was a lot of damage along the stairway and the drywall and all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, no. Okay, so these are delivery drivers from the furniture store, or like he hired a moving company?
Yeah, I think it was Ross and Chandler.
Pivot! Oh,
that
my.
whole friend scene.
Oh, yes.
It was like that. But this, it got lodged. This is at a home. Got lodged in the stairway. So it wasn't really Ross and Chandler and Jennifer and all that other stuff.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
That is terrible. They just left it.
It is terrible. So I think something like this happened to Scott.
No.
Yeah, what happened, Scott?
Well, what I ordered didn't even make it up the steps. I was single. This was years ago, living in an apartment. I had bought a desk, right, to have it delivered. And I got home one day and walked by the stairwell, saw these boxes, kept walking, and then I stopped to look, and it had my name on it. And it was my desk and the boxes at the bottom of the stairwell, the landing. And I lived in the third level. And this was all the way down to the bottom level. And so the guy had left it there, and he put a note on it and said it was too heavy to lift up the stairs.
Sir, that is your job.
Right?
It's just too heavy.
So I had to lift and tote and, lug it up the steps into my apartment.
Wait a minute, lift and tote? That's funny.
Yeah. He put it in a tote bag.
He did.
It works.
You're listening to Rob and Liz in the morning.
On his radio.
Okay, so this lady goes to the Kansas City Chiefs game over the weekend.
Yeah, wait till you hear what she found.
Yeah, so
you ready for this?
She's sitting. She's ready. I don't know who's playing. Who's the quarterback? Right. Right. She's waiting on a football game. But she hears cat.
Yeah, there was a kitten under the seat, man.
Right. Did it have a ticket?
No ticket. But now it's got a home at an animal shelter, and people are trying to say, hey, we would love to be the forever home of this kitten. You probably saw this in the news.
Yeah, and I wonder what they're going to name the little kitty cat.
Chief.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go.
Why not?
Well, true. Sweet little kitten, but had to be freezing.
Yeah.
Kansas City, wasn't it cold over the weekend?
Very
I
cold.
wasn't there.
Probably why it was under a seat to try to keep warm like that.
Oh, he's like, oh, look, all these little heinies are going to be on these seats. You're going to keep me
nice
warm.
and warm.